statement from Coach, and then we'll take some questions.
Everything we signed up for and more there. When you knew at Florida Gulf Coast, I dare y'all to go back and research how many Power 5 teams have played at Florida Gulf Coast. It's not very many, and the number of people that have come out of here with men's even fierce. Resilient, took a body shot, a couple of blows to the head, but they couldn't put us away. Really proud of our kids' poise, confidence, and ability to finish a game in very adverse situations.
Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, just start with the fourth quarter. You're down 9. They scored, and you're down 9, and you go 12-2. Talking about that resiliency and poise, just that good start in the fourth.
Well, it's a blur. I'm not good. Yeah. I'm not. Who's that football coach that can remember every damn play they ran from like 8, whatever his name? I'm not that way. I will. It's a blur. It's a constant what's next type thing. But I'm gonna tell you what it was. It was a message Coach Todd gave him in the media timeout in between the quarters. He said, "Guys, if these guys get past 80, we can't win." How prophetic does that look right now? Because they get 80 and it wasn't enough. And I think that was a good visual, and you just kept looking up there going, hey, if we can get there. Listen, the kid hurting her ankle was a huge turning point in the game. She goes out, and then the other kid catches a cramp. But you know what? That's because we played fast and played hard, and all those things happened. Believe me, we had our share of adversity that didn't go our way either. I told the team after the game, I think our first 2 years ago team loses that game at the buzzer, probably can't find a way to win it 2 years ago. Last year, we probably lose. But now we win that tough game. So I'm proud of them, and it sets us up for a chance to have a great game tomorrow.
Jason Carroll, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, you were 3 of 13 at the three-point line, and then you hit 3 of your last 4 there, especially those 2 in that 12-2 run, and then making the foul shots there at the stretch, or down the stretch. How big were those 2 keys there in the fourth?
Well, they were much better shots than those first 13. The first 13 we got where we were creating our sips. Those last 3 were because we punctured the paint and pitched it, or we drove it down and we pitched it, we were in rhythm. Amber gets the one in the corner, which y'all know she's money from the corner. I was prophetic on that when I said, stay locked, you're getting ready to get a 3. And they drove it in there, and sure enough. And then Chelsea coming in transition. How many times have we seen that? So the shot quality improved, Jason. And then free throws is always a concentration thing. And fortunately, we got the right people up there shooting them and knocked them down because we needed every single one of them.
Porter, go ahead.
Coach, talk about this game and on down the road with this being, following the fourth quarter, this had everything of an NCAA tournament game. So, how is this going to be a teaching moment for those kids that have been so hungry for a tournament game that, hey, this is what you're going to face?
Well, we just pointed up to their banner. I'm looking at it right now. It says basically NCAA tournament, pick a year. They're in it. They play in this tournament. It's like the old John McDonald NCAA national championship track bumper stickers. Just pick a year. We'll be able to use it as reminders, a flashback. Remember when we were down there and this happened? We can use this at Alabama, Auburn, because this is a SEC caliber NCAA tournament, perennial NCAA tournament team. It's actual evidence, Porter. And when you have evidence, you don't have to convince them. It's real. I'm not making it up. I'm not telling a story. I'm not sharing a vision. It is evidence. You've done it, and we can do it again.
Josh, go ahead. Okay, Paul, go ahead. Paul, you got a follow-up?
Anyone? If y'all got
yeah,
that,
sure. Sorry. Hey, Coach, talk about the talk about the threes. Did you do it? Were you just in tune a little better? Did you communicate a little better? Doing a better job on the threes in the second half?
2 things. I think we had better lineups, maybe to defend the 3 in there. We went to Marquisha, gave us a few possessions in there, got Jalen in there in a few possessions. Started offense, defense in a little bit when Slocum got in foul trouble. But, yeah, we stopped switching. The plan was to initially switch some of that stuff. We went back. And I implored to him in that timeout after Coach Todd had got done with him. I just said, hey, listen, this is now me versus you. This isn't about I need somebody in my gap or am I reading the switch. I'm going to guard you. You're my man. they put me on there. I'm guarding you. And that helped us down the stretch. I think we just, took a little bit of self-pride in that I'm not going to need to help. We defended without fouling. We created them to have to really take some tough shots. And I do think they got tired. I think, that some of their shots they were making, they didn't have the legs to make them. They didn't have the step to get by us in transition. And had a compounding effect that we always hope that it does. Just took a little longer because that's a little bit better team than you face some nights.
Jason, go ahead.
You mentioned you might not have won this game last year, but with the leadership that you have on this team, how much did that help keep things close at the end of every quarter to keep it manageable for you to kind of come back there in the fourth?
Yeah, just never letting it get away from you in the second half. When you're down 10 or 11 in the first, you notice we didn't take a timeout. We didn't take a timeout in that first half. And because you've got experience, you let them play, you let them figure it out. And we knew we were going to need the timeouts down the stretch. So, I think the things that we've done in practice, the times that we've put them in a position to be down, the importance of closing quarters, starting quarters. That started the half when we went from like down 5 to tied it up. That was a tremendous lift. And if I'm not mistaken, we were down 6 to start the fourth, and we ended up winning by 6. So it was like a 12. Yeah, 7. So a big
Down
swing
7.
there. Yeah. Yeah. We've got a drill we call stop, score, stop. And we talk about how that can swing the momentum of a game. We talked about that drill, times we've done it in practice, and how if you do that right here, it changes the complete complexion of the game. And again, you're able to draw back on past experiences, which I think for a basketball team, I've never coached any other sport except swimming. So I don't know if it works in all sports, but being able to draw on past experiences really helps in basketball.
Quarter, last one.
Coach, just talk about, the first half and, you're so trying to get on the threes and defend the three. I mean, how hard was that to, keep watching them hit the threes and then really adjust to step up and defend it?
Well, here's what I'll tell you. I'd have been more upset if I'd have had an answer for them. But I didn't want to call timeout because I didn't know what to tell them. Because you know what? They are so good at making you wrong. People fly in from all over the world to talk to Carl about this offense. It is a tremendously hard defense to prepare for. Offense to prepare your defense for. And they just made us wrong. And every time they made us wrong, it was a layup or a three. And we're going to go back and show clips of our own kids just shaking their head. So there was no panic because I didn't know what to tell them. B, I wanted them to figure it out. And they did. They came in talking, hey, if you do this, get a little bit lower on this, talk a little bit on this, move your feet. And then Coach Todd made a lot of game adjustments. I'm not saying it was that, but a lot of strategy things that go into it. But you've got to ultimately, if you want kids to trust you, you've got to put trust in them at some point in time. So if I call a timeout and yell and scream, that doesn't do any good. Play through it. And then let's talk about it at halftime. And then use and manage the game as we go. And that's where I'm going to find the most value in this game is that I know we can do that. I know we can. I don't need to call an early timeout anymore. If we get down big, don't call an early timeout. Save those things. Maybe sub. And then it teaches you. It teaches you. And we got to let wins teach us this year. We can't wait for losses to learn. You got to let wins be a teaching opportunity as well. So we'll take advantage of that here in the next hour. Watch a little bit of Maryland, Maryland and Missouri State, and then go get some rest and start getting ready for tomorrow.
All right, thank you guys. We'll see you next week.